posted February 19, 2019, 6 hours 25 minutes and 17 seconds. If there weren't already enough reasons to watch this year's Women's World Cup in France, the appointment of a highly respected coach from the men's side of the game has added unexpected intrigue. While Football Federation Australia (FFA) continues to deal with the controversy surrounding the dismissal of Alen Stajcic, the game's governing body has put its credibility on the line by appointing a leading coach from its men's program to take charge of the Matildas. Perhaps it's in part a reflection of the urgency of the situation in this, a World Cup year. While the Cup of Nations is now less than 2 weeks away, I do believe that there is some element of risk knowing that Ante hasn't worked with female footballers before, said Milicic's former coach at Sydney United, Branko Kalina. I felt that, possibly, this close to the World Cup they would have gone with someone who's been involved with the women's game, but Ante's a quick learner. Going against the mold, Milicic will have more than football to manage once he takes the reins. The Matildas are affectionately known as Australia's favourite team, an immensely talented group of players who are shining examples of how far the women's game has come in Australia. Milicic, however, has had little, if any, involvement with the women's elite game to date. The decision to appoint the 44-year-old has already raised eyebrows, and former players who have privately suggested Milicic's appointment undermines the state of women's football. He will hold the position until the end of this year's World Cup, in July. Ante's intimate involvement with our national team's unit over the past 5 years ensured that he will commence the position with a clear understanding of the systems in place, said FFA Chief Executive David Gallop. Elite coaches in football rarely ply their trade across both men's and women's formats. The US women's national team, one of the sport's most successful international sides, has traditionally appointed coaches who have specialized in the women's game. Until now, the Matildas have followed the same model, although the English FA recently went against the mold and appointed former England international Phil Neville as coach. Milicic is a World Cup coaching veteran. He served under Ange Postecoglou at the 2014 Brazil World Cup and deputized for Bert van Marwijk 4 years later, in Russia. The retention of Alen Stajcic's former assistant Gary van Egmond is likely to be critical to Milicic's success. I'm not sure there's much difference. Rick Charlesworth is no stranger to elite sport and is one of the few coaches to be at the forefront of elite male and female sport, having coached both the Hockeyroos and the Kookaburras. He's also written books on the topics of leadership and coaching. They are athletes, they have to be treated respectfully and as individuals, said Charlesworth. Whether that's in the women's game or the men's game, I'm not sure there's much difference. I think it's overdone, actually. While he was surprised at Milicic's move to the women's game, Kalina was hopeful. Ante is a very keen student of analysis, he's very good at scouting and he's up to date with the modern game, Kalina said. Ante brings a lot of that tactical and analytical awareness that top-notch football requires. From that point of view, they're on a winner. Now it's over to the players. Topics: Sport, Soccer World Cup, Australia, New South Wales, Sydney 2000.